it's impossible to marry a stranger, quote unquote, and not expect crisis. I think that would be naive of anyone. Good day, everyone. I'm Sam Ore, and you are welcome again to my podcast. The last time we were here, we were talking about marriage and relationship, and I'm telling you that this subject is universal. Everyone is looking for love. Whether you are a child or you are a girl, a boy, a man, a woman, whether you are married or single, divorced or widow or widowed, everyone is looking for love. And I believe that that's the part of us that is talking about the nature of God, because God is love. And because He cannot come down physically, because He's spirit, He has to demonstrate how much He loves us by showing us how much He loves us. That sounds like a play of words. So, and He does that by pouring His love into us so that we can receive His abundant love and now give that love to other people. And like I said in the last podcast, marriage is one of those places, one of those avenues through which that can be done effectively. Now, that doesn't mean everybody's going to get married. That is not what I'm saying. But I'm saying practically, it is one of the ways through which we can see the love of God in action. Now, don't feel bad if you're not married, because you can still receive the love of God, and you can still show love to people without being married. I'm just saying that marriage is one of those places, not the only place, where that can be done. And in case you are married and you're not feeling that love, maybe this is going to help you. And if you are not married and you are planning to marry someday, this is also going to help you. So this is one thing that I love about the subject we're dealing with, because it applies to everybody. So let's get started, because I want to talk about how to know your purpose in marriage. In other words, what is the reason why, or how do I actually kind of put priority in my desire to get married? Because a lot of people just want to get married because their friends are getting married, because the clock is ticking, and they say, oh, you're not getting younger, and things like that. Oh, your friends are married. Is that the reason why you should consider marriage? Marriage is not about age. Of course, you're not supposed to get married as an underage person. There's always in a legal age for anybody to get married anywhere on the planet. So, but it's not about, oh, I'm 40 years old. Oh, I need to get married. I'm 30-something years old. I need to get married. Oh, I have plenty of money. I need to get married. Now, even though money is very good in marriage, we need money, we need finance. But those are not the necessary fundamental requirements. They are addendums. They are going to be very helpful, but they are not the fundamentals of marriage, so to speak. So, then how do you simplify the process of this whole thing? Because it's very, very important. Now, the journey must begin from a personal relationship with God. I mean, it's obvious that I'm a minister of the gospel, so I cannot but say something about God or things of the Spirit, because that's my natural constituency. So, because that doesn't mean that you're not a Christian, God doesn't love you. He loves everybody. Oh yes, He loves the Muslims, He loves the Hindus, He loves the Buddhists, He loves atheists. Those who say it doesn't exist, He loves them. His love for us is so massive and so eternal and so it's sacrosanct. In other words, nothing can change that. Now, it's in our interest to receive that love so that we can enjoy life together. Okay? So, it must begin from that, because it's the author of marriage. Marriage is His idea, it's not man's idea. And it's His idea till today. Oh yeah. I don't care what man has tried to do to it, marriage remains God's idea, because the whole thing started with God. So the first thing is you must have a very good, consistent, ongoing relationship with God. Now, the second thing you need to understand in order to simplify this whole process is understanding your life's purpose. So I tell young people that I don't even think anybody should be thinking about marriage until you have known what you're supposed to do with your life. So I believe everybody has a purpose, and that purpose is to just receive the love of God, basically, and share that love with everybody. So I'm just simplifying it. But the gift with which to do that is also important. Now, when I'm talking about the difference between purpose and gifts, I'll be elaborating more on this. So you have to come to a point when you understand the gifts, your core gift in life with which to fulfill God's purpose for your life. So that is so important, because marriage without a purpose is going to bring a lot of crises. Now, crises will come on their own, whether you have purpose or not. Okay, it's impossible to marry a stranger, quote unquote, and not expect crisis. I think that would be naive of anyone to think that everything will be a bed of roses. Brothers and sisters from the same womb have issues, let alone marrying a stranger. So all this, oh, I love you, you love me, we're not going to have any problem. It's just a facade. It's mirage. It's not real. If anybody's telling you that I've been married now for some years, I don't have any issue, that person is not telling you the truth. How we resolve these issues is what matters. Very important. I think it's part of life, because without crisis you cannot grow. If you want to tone your body, if you want to develop muscles, you go to the gym. You put pressures on your muscles, and that's how you get your body shape. So it's the same thing with life. You see, unfortunately, some of the things that we hear in the churches today are just unrealistic. And that's why a lot of people have unrealistic expectations. So they think, people have unrealistic expectations because they live in a fool's paradise. They have this utopia, universal kingdom where it will be happy marriage, life, all true and true, no crisis at all. So when the first crisis shows up, they panic and they throw in the towel, because there is no purpose in the first place. The husband doesn't have know his purpose. The wife doesn't know her purpose. They just got married because they think that, they have university education, they have a degree now, they have a good job, and it's time to start having children. Now, so this is, I believe, the sequence of how this whole thing should be. Number one, again, you must have a good relationship with your Heavenly Father. Number two, you must understand your life's purpose. We cannot overemphasize that. Then number three, the one that is close to it is sequential, okay? Is social companionship. So this person that I want to marry, this person that I'm dating, this person I'm talking to, can we engage in social conversation? Because every time it's not going to be about spiritual thing. I mean, you can't be reading the Bible 24/7. You won't be in church every hour. You have a life outside of church. You have a life outside of prayers and fasting and studying the Bible and all of that. So don't let anybody just mess up your mind by thinking that you're not spiritual if you have a social life. You want to discuss politics, you want to discuss current affairs, you want to do some other things, you want to go on vacation, you want to travel the world, you want to socialize, you want to get engaged with friends, you want to hang out with friends, you want to go to the movies. Now, does this person sound like somebody who will love this part of me? Very, very important, okay? So don't over spiritualize, don't be hyper spiritual. Marriage is spiritual and physical at the same time, okay? It's very important. Social companionship. Now the third one, or the fourth one, is emotional companionship. Do you guys connect at an emotional level where you can empathize with one another, where she can empathize with you, where you can empathize with her? Where, do you have a situation where what bothers you also bothers him? I mean, I remember my wife and I, many years ago, when we were trying to get married, one of the things that I don't like, is to look down on people. So I said to myself, by the grace of God, I would never maltreat my domestic staff. I used to have domestic staff in those days, like house help and driver, gate men and all that when I was in Nigeria many years ago. And I treated all of them as my own bodies, So, and I found out that while I was thinking that before I even met my wife, that I don't like a situation where you're going to just treat anybody as if they're second-class citizens. So, thank God that my wife also was of that frame mind frame of mind. So when we had our first house help, I just noticed that she had the same mannerism. She treated her like her own daughter. Like, oh my God, thank you, Jesus. Because I got to know at this when we were caught, even when we got married, that my wife does not look down on people. So our house help, the young poor girl, that was brought to us by God's grace, God helped us to, clean her up. But my wife, bought new clothes for her, bought new shoes for her. I remember when she came, she only came with one tiny nylon bag of maybe 1 or 2 clothes. My wife took it away, bought her new clothes, bought on this for her, and she will eat the same food we were eating. She will eat in the living room. She doesn't eat in the kitchen. And so I was just so grateful to God. So we connected at the same emotional and intellectual level. So that is very important. Okay. Now this is now the one that will lead to the next one, which is sexual companionship. It's very important because, again, you're not going to be praying 24/7. You're not going to be studying the Bible for 24/7. So emotional companionship, the way you engage intellectually, the way you talk emotionally, emotional connection, all those things is what is going to lead to sexual companionship. In other words, you can't just come home and just grab your wife like that or grab your husband like that. There has to be something that will lead to that. Do you know that if husband and wife cannot get along in the discussing certain things that have to do with emotional intelligence, it can even affect their sexual life or their sex life, because what's going to happen is that by the time every time you talk, you pick up a discussion, but you guys are not connecting. You are disconnect. So you find out that one thing can lead to another thing, and there's an argument. There's an argument, there's bitterness, there's anger. How do you have sex when you're angry? How do you have sex when you are bitter against one another? So it's very important. And of course, the other one is procreation. Procreation. Of course, you can see that they are well sequenced together, because sexual companionship will lead to procreation. Nobody will have children without having sex. So, but look at the way everything is put together. Personal relationship with God, first and foremost. Then it is that will lead you to knowing your purpose in life, or your gift to fulfill the purpose of God for your life. It's because it is God that will show you. So you have to have a relationship with Him first. Then that takes you to the second point, which is understanding your life purpose and the gift. Then, of course, social companionship. It is when you know your purpose in life and your gift in life, and you now see the enormity and the vastness and the size of it. That's when it's like, okay, this guy, or this woman cannot do this alone. Let me send them someone that will help. Okay? So, and that help we come in form of social companionship first. Because you have to see somebody first. You have to know that person first. You have to date. You have to like the person. Oh, this lady is so beautiful. Oh, this man is so good looking. This guy is intelligent. I love this lady. She's neat. She's this and that. So then, now begin to connect at emotional level. Then, because when you get married, then sex will now follow after marriage, okay? Then now lead to procreation. So again, here we have it. Let's simplify this thing. It's not difficult at all. Again, for the often time, personal relationship with God, understanding your life's purpose through your relationship with God. Then when the size of your purpose becomes massive, that you can no longer do it alone, then you need somebody that will help you. And that help will come from social companionship first. Then that takes you to emotional companionship. Then you get married, then you start having, intimacy, and that will lead to procreation. But you see how people skip all of these processes and they just jump into, oh, I'm not getting young. Oh, my mates are married. Oh, I have a good job. Now it's time for me to get married. And at the end of the day, even though those qualities are great, good job, good education, money and all of those things, but if these other factors are misunderstood or they're not put into consideration, then crisis will loom. And when crisis loom without all these things, then there's a problem. And that's when people get into anger, bitterness, resentment, and other problems in the realm of the soul, which if another can lead to divorce. Now, next time we'll continue from where I'm stopping right now, and we'll bring another powerful episode your way. Again, my name is Sam Ore, and I love you.